Welcome to the Eye on Annapolis Local Business Spotlight. There are thousands of locally owned businesses in the area, some small and some large. Some you may know and others you don't. But one thing they all have in common is a great story, and we want to share it with you. Join us every Saturday as we talk to the founders, the owners, and the managers of local businesses you have come to know and love, and those you will come to know and love. Now here's your host, John Frenay, with this week's Local Business Spotlight.
All right, we're about 3 or 4 days before Thanksgiving, and it's got to be, 70 degrees and sunny on the back deck of Mother's Peninsula Grille in Arnold.
A beautiful day.
Oh, man, Maryland weather, you got to love it. Well, we are here with Dave Rather, who is the owner of Mother's Grill, and that's Mother's Peninsula Grill, Mother's Federal Hill, and Mother's North.
Correct.
I think, though. I was just thinking on the way up here that the last time we talked, you were doing like an awesome thing and going down to like Brazil to see some of the Olympics. So that had to be like 2016 or so.
Yeah, 2016.
Was that a good trip?
Oh, it was amazing. I love Brazil. If anybody can get a chance to travel there, they should. The people are so warm and friendly and just happy. And, you know, they love having a good time. We stayed in Copa.
You don't know anything about having a good time,
that's what we built Mother's on. So we stayed right at Copacabana Beach, overlooking the beach. That was Michael Phelps' last Olympics. So we got to see him win 2 gold medals.
Were you the guys, when they started to play the national anthem, did the big O?
We were part of the O crew. Yeah. I don't know if we were the ones that he heard or not, but we were there and we definitely said it. It was really cool, real special. You know, being at the Olympics is just, once in a lifetime trip, and going to Brazil is amazing. I can't wait to go back.
That's awesome. I don't see him coming to Baltimore anytime soon. So,
I mean, we were in for it, but we lost. I guess maybe it was World Cup we were in for. Or the Olympics that's going to LA is, they wanted it maybe in Washington, Baltimore, but, and then even the World Cup we got passed on because it's in like Boston, New York, and Philly, I think. Right. So
screw those guys.
Oh, wow. Can't win them all.
Let's talk about mothers, man. There's a lot that's really changed here. Right now we're in the heat of football season.
Yeah.
And, depending on what week we're in, the Ravens are doing
It's a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster. 2 weeks ago, we were going to the Super Bowl. Last week was horrible. Now, tonight, we play the Bengals. Big game for the division. So if we can win, we can put ourselves in a nice spot. We have a good team, and people get excited about football. We're excited about football. We have the NFL ticket here, so we can show every game, and that's a big deal. And we have a lot of TVs, so we take a lot of pride in the Ravens football at all 3 locations, and obviously being so close to the stadium down in Federal Hill, it makes it for a big deal for us for home games
on game day for sure. So you are decidedly a Ravens bar. You're not a Commanders bar, even though you're probably about a mile and a half north of the line.
I mean, we're there's obviously a lot of Washington football fans and baseball fans here. We're right on the edge, and so. We have teams, we have fans from all the teams come. Sometimes we get a bunch of Eagles fans, or like Buffalo fans, or, so we welcome all, colors, but obviously Ravens is our heart.
You bleed purple a little bit there.
Yes.
Although it would be a good year to be an Eagles fan.
Yeah, well, they're always good. Great sports city.
Well, you sat there and talked about the televisions, and as we were waiting to talk to you, I was sitting there counting, and I kept miscounting. Yeah. And I said, oh, man, they got like 17 big screens plus that big projection.
Yeah.
And then I said, oh, wait, no, they got like 22 of those big screens, and they're all hidden all over the place, man. This is an amazing place to watch sports.
Yeah. I mean, we try to make sure that you have a good angle at a TV, no matter what seat that you're in. So, we have a lot of, TVs that are just maybe geared towards 1 or 2 seats, but, we love all sports and we'll put any game on for you. So all you got to do is ask.
What's your personal sport?
I mean, I love football. I played lacrosse in high school and in college a little bit, and, but I mean, I love the Orioles. I love the Ravens. Those are probably my 1 and 2.
The 2 sweet spots there. Yeah. That's for sure. Well, you're not all about sports too at Mother's. You've got a somewhat new built-up stage, front and center, as you walk in the front door at Mother's Peninsula Grille in Arnold. And this is just north of the community college on the right-hand side of northbound side of Ritchie Highway.
Yeah.
I guess you're across from, what, Fish Paws?
Yep. Right on the edge of Severna Park, real close to College Parkway.
Go through that light at the college, get into the right lane, and put you right into the parking lot there. But you guys have live music here all the time.
Yeah. So, I'm a big live music fan. Mother's was kind of influenced by two things back 27 or 8 years ago. One, like the Caribbean and the food from the Caribbean, and New Orleans and the music and nightlife in New Orleans. So New Orleans music is a big passion of mine, and just live music in general. And so we wanted to create a stage to make a better environment for musicians. There's a lot of musicians in the Annapolis area. It's pretty amazing, and a lot of really strong ones. And some of them are really, starting to tour the country and really make a name for themselves. Brandon Hardesty with Bumpin' Uglies, and Joey Harcum.
Yeah, so you have Jordan Sokol up on the...
Yeah, Jordan Sokol with Pressing Strings. His band's awesome, and his music he's writing, original music, is great, and he's got an awesome agent, and he's doing big national festivals. So that's really cool to see. But here we get those guys, but just a lot of the local guys that are all really strong, and we put in a sound system and created a stage. So we're not doing a lot of full bands, but we do some of the bigger bands in the area, Golden Road, which is a Grateful Dead tribute, and the Grilled Lincolns. So we get some bands, and they'll start like later after the dinner hour. But we have live music on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, and then after football season on Sunday afternoons as well.
And I will say that there is not a cover charge here.
Yeah, it's no cover. So, we pay the bands. Obviously, they'll take tips. We just want to create a fun atmosphere and kind of increase our nightlife a little bit and get people to come out, after the dinner hour, because we do, really great dinner business, and we're just trying to increase the nightlife business a little bit.
Well, I say you've got trivia on Tuesdays. So Monday, I guess, is your day that you rest.
Yeah, Monday we started something cool that we have a lot of Hispanic guys that work in the kitchen, and they want to make some authentic Mexican food. So we do like a special menu on Mondays. It's called Mamacita Mondays. And so we do, small menu of original, authentic Mexican food. And we only do it on Mondays. And people really love it. And, I've talked about how great it is and come in every Monday for it. So that's something we do just to make Mondays a little different and special. And, people seem to really like it.
That's really cool. So, you're getting the authentic because of, some of the Hispanic guys that are in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that are creating the recipes?
They're creating it, and it's totally like stuff that they would create back home. And they're it's part of their culture and part of their history. So they love to be able to cook it, and they love to turn people onto it. So it's maybe a little different than you would see at like an American Mexican place. It's real authentic. So come try it out on Mondays.
It's so funny that, and I don't know how old you are. I'm going to say you're probably a little bit younger than I am, but I remember growing up, Mexican food just wasn't, the side of Taco Bell, that was kind of it.
Yeah.
And I am such a fan of, and I say Mexican, I use that sort of as an all-encompassing term, but of the Latin food that's out there. I could almost do that 7 nights a week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. And, I think there's more restaurants now because it's a good profit, margin for restaurants, that are doing it. And, we've Americanized it, just like we did with like Chinese food, we've Americanized, Chinese food. I went to a authentic Chinese restaurant in New York City once, and it was nothing like I expected. So, and that's what we do. But, it seems like, there's so many things you can do in the Mexican, menu and recipes that, a lot of restaurants are really springing up.
That's fantastic. Well, let's talk a little bit about your kitchen, because I do want to talk about your food.
Yeah.
And I am a fan, and I know that you've mentioned to me several times that this is a scratch kitchen.
Yeah.
What is a scratch kitchen?
So we basically, take the raw ingredients to make our products. We don't buy stuff that's already prepared, like chicken fingers that are already breaded and then just pour them into the fryer. We kind of take a chicken cutlet, create the batter, flour, some beer, some other special ingredients, and we make the chicken fingers from scratch. So same thing with our wings and, our soups, our salad dressings. Not many people make their own salad dressings. And, we go through a lot of blue cheese, and our blue cheese dressing, I think, is the best that I've ever tasted. And I try it everywhere, wherever I go. We use real chunks of blue cheese. It really, to me, makes the wings, that much better when you have good blue cheese. We care about the small things. We're cutting our own fries here. We make our own homemade ice cream. It's my grandfather's recipe. So now we have those in like pints to go. We make all of our own sauces. So we're not just buying sauce out of a jar. We're kind of, just creating it.
So when I get a wing sauce, I mean, it's not coming out of a 5-gallon pickle jug that's just sort of poured over them and tossed in a wok.
No, each sauce is handcrafted and, created in-house and, made with fresh ingredients. And you can tell, I mean, it's a different level. I mean, we're a casual, fun, upscale sports bar. But we take our food seriously. We have over 80 items on our menu, and most of it's made from scratch. And, when we make our own soups, as well. And almost everything is made, in our prep kitchen. So it takes more time. It's more effort, and it's a little more money to buy the stuff, those ingredients and make it yourself.
That makes me come back.
Yeah. And we're not maybe the cheapest place around, and that's kind of why, because we put that much extra into our food.
Well, I will say that, you said 80 plus things on your menu, and I mean, your burger selection, bar none, is tops in the area.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you can have an entirely separate, different burger menu.
Yeah.
And,
we used to, now we kind of consolidated it to one, but I mean, we sell a lot of burgers and wings. And, burgers, now have so many different toppings. It's it can be, a full meal.
Well, that drives me crazy. I mean, when you go to these places and I know you do brunch, I want to talk about brunch a little bit, but I mean, people do the Bloody Marys, and there's like half a chicken jammed in the top of the glass, and, there's a burger on.
Yeah, crab meat, shrimp.
Oh my God. I get in there and I'm a purist. I'm like, how about tomato juice, vodka, celery, and some hot sauce?
Yeah.
I've
always kind of wanted to do that because I like crab meat and shrimp, and, but we haven't like done that special add-on yet, but I'm sure you can always get it, plain if you don't want all those extras.
What's your favorite dish? What do you like to eat here?
I like to eat the fresh fish. I, feel like that's, the best thing on our menu. I like the charred black pepper tuna salad is really good. The soy vinaigrette dressing we use and the mushroom shiitake salsa that's on that is incredible. I like the Cubano sandwich. It's, really good. I mean, pretty much everything on the menu is good. I love the ice cream. I like the, certain flavors of the wings I'll get, consistently. Even like the buffalo chicken sandwich, with the blue cheese is really good. I mean, we have good steaks. We have a bunch of good entrees and a bunch of good entree salads that really hit home.
Well, I'll tell you, I know I've been here a number of times for brunch, and I will say that I've talked to a lot of people, and Mother's doesn't, seemingly float to the top of when people are talking about brunch places.
Yeah.
And it should.
Yeah.
It totally should, because I am very judgmental on Eggs Benedict. When they say they've got good Eggs Benedict,
it's hard to do.
If you come out and say you've got good Eggs Benedict and you screw it up,
this
is not a good place. You guys hit them spot on.
That's good. It's a very difficult item to make. It's very hard in the kitchen, and it's really time intensive, and you really got to pay attention to it. So I'm glad that we're doing it right. But it's not easy, and eggs just in general aren't easy because they get cold really quickly. It's a hard menu segment, daytime segment to do efficiently and do well. But, we have a good crew, so they do well back there.
Well, you do. I mean, my other favorite on that one, and when I came back for seconds and thirds, was the French toast. And I do notice on the menu now that you got a salted caramel French toast, which I haven't had, and that sounds very interesting as well.
And we also make our own homemade Belgian waffles. So we're making them from scratch, and we do like a sundae with those on there. And then we're also making our own donuts. So we're making donuts from scratch. So those are two things that we just kind of.
What do you sell the most of? I'm presuming it's wings and burgers.
Yeah.
Without a.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a restaurateur here or something like that.
Yeah, those are our tops for sure. But, I mean, just chicken cheesesteak and crab soup and ice cream. I mean, everything sells. I mean, we do a lot of food business here, and we're busy, 7 days a week. So we've tried to kind of reduce the menu because it's hard to have such a large menu, but everything really sells. The stuff that sells the least is like the vegetarian items, but you have to have them for.
Yeah, you've got to have it. But again, I wouldn't think going into a sports bar that
it's not a main focus.
Yeah, I'm looking for some vegan tofu. I mean,
right.
it's just it doesn't seem to be here. And I will say that your staff is spot on, and you do a good job of hiring the right people for it. I've never had a bad experience. I've never talked to anybody that says, "Oh my gosh, I waited." I mean, sometimes it's very crowded, which is great for you, but it's the staff and the bartenders and everything else. The bartenders especially know how to crush a crush. For sure. Yeah. Which is Mother's signature drink, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, we have a separate ice machine to get the crushed ice because we think that's an important part of the crush. We'll do 7 to 10 different crushes, and we even do like a super large one, that you can get and save a few bucks. But we do pretty much every crush, under the stars, and we can, if somebody wants something special, we can do that too.
Very cool. Very cool. You mentioned 27 or 28 years ago when you got I can't remember when you got a taste or something like that. I mean, Mother's hasn't been around that long, has it?
Well, we've in Federal Hill, we're like 26 years.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. And we just celebrate our 10-year anniversary here and 7 years in Timonium.
Oh my gosh. Okay. How did you get in the business?
I just, was looking for something to do, and, I'd like to throw parties. And I started this social club called Mom's Social Club, and I would take people down to New Orleans for Mardi Gras, for Jazz Fest, and I would bring New Orleans bands up here and, throw a New Year's Eve party or something like that. And it started to be successful, but I needed something to do every day. And about the same time, my brother was moving back from the Virgin Islands. He had learned to cook and, had run a kitchen down there. And so I said, well, we need to open a bar restaurant, and started looking. Luckily, we found the space in Federal Hill, and I mean, there was a line to get in day one, and it's been busy for 26 years.
Well, you said Mom's Social Club is where this somewhat all started.
Yeah.
Now, you go by Mother Dave.
Yeah.
And you were like the mother of these 3 locations, I guess. But where did the mother come from? Is that just?
It was like a nickname in high school. And I because I always organized parties and groups and kind of got everybody together. And so it kind of just, was like a nickname and kind of stuck. And it just.
And it's stuck.
It stuck, yeah.
And now we have Mother's Federal Hill, Mother's Peninsula Grille in Arnold, and we've got Mother's North.
It's been busier than we ever could have thought. It's, beyond our wildest dreams. And it's, really kind of become an institution. And obviously it's a lot of hard work. Our team, bust their butt. People that first started 20-some years ago that are still, family to, the current staff. We've had great people that work there, and it's been one big family. So that's probably been the biggest pleasure.
What I love about Mother's is that about your business is that you're not a national chain. No. You are a local chain. I mean, I think you told me one time you live in Pasadena, don't you?
Yeah.
Or something. It's okay. So, I mean, can't get any more local than that.
Yeah.
Actually, centrally located for your 3 locations. I'm sure that was probably part of the decision.
It takes an hour to get to Timonium during the rush, but
but you bootstrapped and built this whole thing from nothing. I mean, I'm gathering you were a lax bro that liked to party and
yeah,
and here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a lot of experience in the restaurant business. I worked for my friend's restaurant. There was a small little place in Federal Hill called Empty Pockets, and I kind of learned the ropes for a year. And then I kind of just like took the chance and just basically figured that I knew Federal Hill was really, up and coming and was going to do well and needed more places because there was lines everywhere. And so then you kind of just use what you learn and just it's like riding an elephant, just trying to stay on, and just I have good business sense, and so I knew what we needed and where our shortcomings were, and was able to fix them and make the whole operation better. We've had a good combination of a fun bar and really good food, and not many places can do both. And so
probably not too dissimilar from your kitchen. As your scratch kitchen, you're trying to figure out the recipe and you find out what works and what doesn't work and add a little bit more of
what's
this.
easy to make. I mean, some things like they get sent back a lot because people just are expecting something different. Like, something small like coleslaw. For the last 25 years, we've had this Cajun coleslaw that's got a little kick to it because most of our food has spices in it that are more for flavor than hotness. That were inspired through St. John in the Virgin Islands, and so we had a Cajun coleslaw that some people really loved and would go out of their way for. But if you weren't expecting it, and a lot of maybe older generation doesn't like spicy things, so people would kind of send it back and just not be happy. So we decided just to go to the basic everyday coleslaw, so we weren't just doing something people weren't looking for.
It's funny I've talked to a couple of different restaurateurs who, you don't realize how different things affect different people. I know I was talking to Dick Franyo back when they were doing the outside dining during COVID at the Boatyard Bar and Grill. And he quickly realized that there were certain dishes that they made that just didn't travel well in a box.
Yeah.
You get home and it's been sloshing across the front seat.
Fried food, nachos. We've had to take all those items off our menu on the carry out or delivery. And I mean, we learned a lot during COVID, and but we were already set up really well for delivery before COVID, and so that kind of going through that disaster we were kind of set up for it in advance, so it really helped us overall.
True. Well, we are sitting out here on the patio. It's a deck behind Mother's.
Yeah.
And a beautiful sunny day in the middle of November. I don't believe it, but I think come February we'll probably be paying for it.
Yeah.
One way or another. I actually kind of hope we get a good winter. And I do love how that you're out in the community.
Yeah.
I may or may not have imbibed a little bit too much of those crushes at East Puerto Rockin.
Yeah.
What are your plans looking forward for 2024? Do we have a Mother's Bourbon Street or a Mother's Honolulu coming up? Or
I mean, we're always looking to expand, but we don't have anything definite in mind. I just became a grandfather.
Congratulations!
Thank you. And Terry, my son, is kind of the next generation is leading the mother's charge. So he's at home, helping his wife get their
sane.
Yeah, and keep their newborn happy. And he's going to be taking it into the next generation. So we're excited to see what's going to happen from there.
Well, you've got multi-generation. Well, it's kind of neat when you sit there and you see, I mean, you've been doing this for, almost 27 years now as mothers. And I mean, I would imagine like any business owner, you're probably very stuck in your ways and you've got this is the way it needs to be done. And when you get a fresh view, it has a tendency to really reinvigorate a brand.
Yeah.
And
well, we've always, tried to adapt and tweak things, constantly. And so, it's a young person's, business, and things have changed over the years. I mean, just how we advertise, it's all gone from like radio and print and TV to social media. And so that, is being a big change. And so we always like to just adapt and change and appeal to, the younger generation and what they're looking for. Because, that's kind of maybe the people that are going to be out more often and spending money more often. So we're always looking to make changes, and we kind of try to do everything as a group. And if a new young manager has a good idea, we'll roll with it.
That's awesome. Mother's Grill with an E on the end of it.com is the website.
Yes.
You want to go there and you be able to find out all about what's going on here in Arnold at Mother's Peninsula Grill, or Mother's Federal Hill in Baltimore, or Mother's North in Timonium.
Yeah.
And obviously Federal Hill is a little bit more historic. And I think Timonium is probably your most modern looking one, if you will.
Probably,
right?
Yeah.
Great food no matter which one you go to. Great drinks, even better staff. I'm partial to the Eggs Benedict and the French toast on their brunch.
Nice.
The burger menu is fantastic. Dave Rather, you've done an incredible job, or I should say Mother Dave, you've done an incredible job over the last 20 some odd years in building this.
Thank you.
Little empire. And I'm glad we had the chance to sit down and learn a little bit more. And everybody that's listening, get out to Mother's and check it out with their
Please do.
25 big screen TVs plus that projection one that hangs down in the middle, or live music or anything else that goes on. But thank you so much.
Thanks for having us, and appreciate all you do for mothers and for the community.
Thanks for listening to this week's Local Business Spotlight. Please make sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net for all your local news, events, and opinion. And in case you haven't already, please subscribe to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, where we bring you all the day's local news direct to your phone, tablet, or computer in about 10 minutes. It comes to you at 6 a.m. every Monday through Friday, and you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.